Hello, this is Jonathan with Reality Overload. Thank you, Reality Overloaders, for joining us here on YouTube. I am here talking to you about two different topics. One is going to be on a book review, and the other one is about SpaceX's Starship SN10 launch and landing. First off, the book review, which is on the only available on Audible, and it's called Expedition Force Columbus Day. Now, there's a total of 14 books, 13 right now. The 14th book will be coming out in June. But the first book, right off the bat, gets you started where you have two alien races, the Ruha and the Kastang, who are battling and have come to the Earth because of a wormhole that happened to be activated. Now, we find out later on with Sergeant Bishop, who then becomes Colonel Bishop of UNICEF, which is the UN Expedition Force, which was tasked on riding with the Cristants to the battles with the Ruha on Paradise, which is a planet which they called for the humans where they fight. Now, we find that the Kristains are more like the Nazis, and the Ruha are more like the Allies in WW2. Of course, we don't find this out until later on in the book, and the Colonel decides that he cannot follow the orders that they want, which is to kill innocent lives, uncombatants. So he decides not to and is arrested and possibly will be executed for failure. He then comes across a AI who has been around for generations, thousands, and millions of years. It's the smartest thing out there. Of course, he wants to be called the Almighty, and of course Bishop is not willing to go with that. So he comes up with Skippy. Now Skippy decides to call us his stupid little idiotic apes, but of course he needs these idiotic apes to help him fly through the station because he looks like a beer can. He has no legs. He needs to be carried around, but he's this all smart, omnipotent being, so to speak. It's quite funny because of the jokes that are said throughout the story, to the point where I actually rewound the book just to hear those jokes again. Um, Highly recommended and definitely a good read. I'm actually starting on the second book, which is Spec Ops, and I'll have that for you after I'm done with that. I'm almost actually done. I only have about 7 hours left within that book, and they're 15 hours long. Again, definitely a good read. Highly recommended. Good sci-fi fiction, and and it's just funny too along the way because of the little interactions in which the Expedition Force has with Skippy, and Bishop and Skippy actually seem to be the backbone of this book. They bounce off of each other quite well to the point where you actually forget Skippy is this all important being, and you think of him as just a member of the crew, another human, although he is a literally a beer can in space. More for that as I progress through the book. But now we're going to turn to SpaceX and Starship SN10. As you can see here, SN10 had a perfect launch. It did its belly flop maneuver, coming down, igniting 3 Raptor engines right before coming down for its landing. And as it straightened out and started coming down, as you can see, 2 Raptor engines shut down, leaving only 1. Now it still came down for a nice little landing, but it was a hard landing. The result caused the bale on the engine to become crushed, which resulted in problems with the fuel. Now this caused SN10 to do a second hop, which was not called for, and it exploded on the pad 8 minutes after it landed. Now, according to the tweets that Elon Musk has put out there, from now on they will have 2 Raptor engines on at all times when it's coming down for landing. to avoid the hard landing from the low thrust ratio. Now, as you can see though, it did ignite because it did not quite have the legs either and the clearance for a hard landing. Now, Elon Musk was questioned if he would ever actually change those landing legs. His response was not in the near future because they may very well use the launching and recovery platform for Starship to recover the booster and the Starship itself. So we'll physically catch it in mid-flight while it's coming down. So it won't need to actually touch down on any concrete material to stop it. It will be caught in the midair, but we have not seen any actual diagrams of this nor any actual plans yet. But hopefully one day we will see it soon, and when we do, we will have it here on Reality Overload. And we will be covering SN11 when it finally launches. It has been moved to its launch pad and is in preparation for launch. Although, as we have seen before, it can take them up to at least a month and a half before it's ready. Hopefully, though, it will become sooner. As we see from their prior launches, every launch gets sooner and sooner and closer and closer. So they are getting better and faster at prepping their starships and launching them. And every launch is giving them more and more data. As you can see, the data has given them the ability to actually land Starship through this crazy belly flop maneuver. But as you can see, they actually pulled it off. So congrats to Starship, SpaceX's team, and congratulations to Elon Musk for this completely odd and crazy idea for Starship that actually may work, as he's proven so far. So we look forward to the SpaceX and the Starship team and see what comes out from Boca Chico, Texas. I'm Jonathan with Reality Overload. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you later in reality.